Live from the Stream Center in Tampa, Florida, the home of News Channel 8, your official Bucs station. This is Bucs Bonus on WFLA Now, powered by 1-800-ASK-GARY.
Is Todd Bowles' head coaching job on the line after losing 4 straight games, guys? Can the Bucs defense bounce back against another rookie quarterback? And what will it take to get back in the win column? We tell you all that right here, right now on Bucs Bonus. I am your host, Eileen Natchik, along my teammates and your Bucs insiders, Dan Lucas, Karen Loftus. Wrong one. Did that on purpose, always. You never know. You never know.
My crickets are tuning in.
Sometimes.
Oh, they are loyal. They
Yep.
are loyal.
Tis the season. I kind of want to pull an elf and just like press all of them at the same time, see what happens. Yeah, guys, just, we don't need to harp on last week. I mean, terrible, disappointing loss. The players know this. The coaches know this. Let's get your reaction after Sunday's game, guys.
Well, I think maybe from the players' perspective, we got a little bit of closure on last Sunday because Carlton Davis, to his credit, spoke to the media after practice today and said nothing that fans haven't said and described his own play and called himself out after Todd Bowles had called him out Monday. Said Carlton had a bad game. So, we all saw what happened Sunday, particularly on the last 2 plays of the game for the Bucs defense, the 26-yard play and then the touchdown pass. 6 defensive backs were on the field for both plays. So there's blame to go around. But for me, hearing from Carlton Davis today was, I don't know if the word is comforting, Karen, but it's at least everybody is owning up. No one's hiding. And the room is, in my opinion, galvanized. Now they just need to get that going for results.
So it's like you had the two sides of it. It's like the defense had been playing so well all season. They have an uncharacteristically rough outing. Well, the offense on the other side, they decided to score nearly 40 points. Mm-hmm. So I think a positive takeaway from the offensive side is like, okay, we know it's like that demonstrated ability that I always like reiterate, that builds your confidence to show that you can score that many points. Rachaad White, I was asking him about the run game because he said, each week it seems to be getting a little bit better every week. So I think some things are coming together and they're getting some confidence on the offensive side of the ball. Yeah. Now all of it needs to just, all 3 phases.
Yeah, and that the offensive performance the other day, in a second half that was just really a grind the entire half, Baker Mayfield gave the Bucs basically his second fourth quarter comeback of the season. He had one on opening day, and I had one against Houston on Sunday, which doesn't count as a fourth quarter comeback because they lost the game, of course. Yeah. But when the Bucs scored that touchdown, the game was basically over, and you just had to close the door. They couldn't do it.
I thought was interesting was something Baker said today. So about the, fourth quarter comeback, it's like they were able to score when they needed to.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Huge. And it was like, you overcame adversity. And he pointed out, he's like, well, we sort of overcame adversity that was self-inflicted. Yeah. So he's like, yes, it's good, but we shouldn't have been in that position anyways.
That can't be lost in this game. The disappointment of the result. You cannot lose sight of the fact that the offense was able to grind and get a drive when it mattered at the end.
Right.
Baker Mayfield was not on the field to stop the Texans at the end of the game. Yeah. So if there's some type of building point from that, I think the offense takes that. And like you mentioned, scored 37 points. That's a heck of a day. It could have had more. There were some points left out there. They settled for a couple field goals.
Yeah.
So maybe this is coming together.
9
I think
penalties.
if you're going to cling to something, that the offense is coming together.
Better
maybe?
than 11, yeah.
Exactly.
It's funny, well, not funny, but when the defense is playing pretty good all season long, and then the offense starts to cook some stuff up, and then the defense kind of falls back.
Down.
So, and Todd Bowles has mentioned that before. It's like, well, when this happens good, this happens poorly. So it's like, all right, guys, let's play complementary football. Let's, click on all phases and get something going here. But yeah, I'm going to pull up Casey Sloan's website because is head coach Todd Bowles' job on the line? Will the Bucs make a coaching staff change following 4th consecutive loss? Guys, what are we thinking? Because this is something a lot of people are talking about.
Well, Todd Bowles is a smart guy. He is aware of his surroundings, and he is aware of the noise, and he's been a head coach in the NFL before where it didn't end well. So he is well aware of what he has to do, and that if you're in his shoes right now, the big picture, is he on the hot seat? Yes. Is something going to happen sooner rather than later? I don't think so. The Glazers don't do that. They've never done that. There's been coordinator moves during the season, but not a head coach. I think you have to just get a win, stop this streak any way you can, regroup, and try and string together some wins. And when the big picture is spelled out, then his fate will be decided. I think that's where Todd Bowles stands.
Yeah.
Fans are angry right now.
Yeah.
Have every right to be angry right now. Todd Bowles is not going anywhere. And quite frankly, you can be mad at the defense if you want, but the defense has fared pretty well and statistically is faring pretty well overall. So they were embarrassed, and those are Bowles' guys. Expect a turnaround. And if they don't, be mad.
Yeah, well, it's interesting too because he's also the defensive coordinator. So if you fire the head coach, then you also fire their defensive coordinator, and it's just it's a lot to deal with. So we don't know, you know what I mean? They recognize what's going on, guys. Like no one's happy about what's going on. So it's just a matter of getting things done. Let's talk about who could potentially be on the field, who left the game early. Karen, I mean, how much would it mean to have Jamel Dean on this field, especially in the secondary? I mean, because he didn't practice today, but it is early. It's Wednesday.
Yeah, so him and Carlton Davis did not practice on today, Wednesday. So I mean, you need your 2 starting corners out there.
Right.
I mean, that's your spark, and obviously you want him to be 100%. You don't want him out there limping around, or I guess it was a concussion, so he wouldn't be limping. Yeah. But,
well, I mean, maybe. It depends on how bad the concussion was. I'd be limping everywhere if I was these guys out here.
So that's important, just to have everybody healthy. And then there were 2 other guys who were injured too. There were several on the injury report, but in regards to the defense, Vita Vea and Logan Hall were both limited with their respective injuries. So all things coming together, you just want everybody healthy.
Yeah. Now I'm going to check the injury report here to take another look. Dan, I mean, yeah, same thing. You agree, disagree? I mean, it's hard to disagree with that.
I agree. I think Vita Vea just lives on the injury report. I think it's just the way it's going to be. He's one of the ultimate gamers that I've ever seen. He drags himself to the starting line, I like to say, and then performs well. And Todd Bowles said the other day, I had asked him, how is the combination of Vea and Kalijah Kancey progressing? He said, it's great. We just got to keep them on the field at the same time. He goes, one goes off, the other one comes on. When then he leaves, the other one comes back. They just cannot keep them on the field at the same time, and that's unfortunate. But if there's one guy on this team, and there's a lot of tough guys on this team, you will never question toughness.
No.
It's Vita Vea. The
100%.
guy just drags himself to the stadium. And I'm pretty sure in Buffalo, what was he, the late scratch when the warm-ups with the groin thing? I'm pretty sure he was not pleased when they said, sorry, dude.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't his decision.
I'm sorry,
hey,
man.
guys,
You're
can't
just,
go.
Yeah, you're just not moving like we want you to.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Don't
he
think
was
that's how it
thrilled
went.
with that decision. Yeah, exactly.
Well, 2 that pop out to me, Trey Palmer and Devin Tompkins. Trey Palmer with a neck injury. He was limited on Wednesday. Devin Tompkins, personal, did not practice on Wednesday. Don't know what the personal is, but those are 2 guys, sneaky ones there too, that I feel like need to be on the field as well, especially when it comes to special teams too. With Devin, I think he's been very underrated, and he's been pretty good for them. So quite interesting. Again, it's early, so we'll see. But who's just, man, I don't know where he is. I don't know what he's doing.
Somebody check in on him, please.
Someone needs to check in on Buckified Bird. But, for now, we'll see what he has to say.
Hello, Eileen. This is Buckified Bird. I'm so happy to be able to talk to you, give you my perspective about last week. No, I am not going back to no church. I'm through with that. From now on, I'm on my own with the Buccaneers from here on out. I promise you, last week, those 37 points the offense got, this will beat anybody that the defense we played against this year. Anybody with 37 points. But it didn't win last week. The defense let us down, but they're going to take this setback and turn it into a setup for a comeback. And we're not worried about our division. We're still going to win this division. We're going back to back to back. We win in the division back to back back. The Saints are in division lead right about now, but that don't matter. We just now coming in our own. The offense is gelling. The defense is going to prove that they can rebound. And then you're going to get Casey Stone, her stats of the week, and you'll find out that it's going to be coming from whoever Casey picked. All right, this is Buckify Bert. I'm out.
What's up, guys? Sunday's matchup against the Texans turned out to be a huge day for Bucs star wide receiver Mike Evans. With his 4 receptions for 87 yards, the Texas native became the first player in franchise history to reach 11,000 career receiving yards for Tampa Bay. His performance in his hometown moved him ahead of Joey Galloway, who has 10,950 yards for the 39th most receiving yards in NFL history. On top of that, Evans is still on pace to reach another 1,000-yard season, which would be his 10th consecutive year reaching the feat. He also leads the Bucs with 594 receiving yards this season, making him this week's Casey StatChat Player of the Week. Also, I want to shout out the last week's Player of the Week, Rachaad White, because he's on my fantasy team, and he got me like 28 points because he had 2 touchdowns. So I'm just saying maybe I'm good luck because he played well, and every person I shout out ends up playing well the next week. So hopefully we continue that against the Titans. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Well, obviously, always good when
she's
your
a good
fantasy
omen.
team.
That Casey,
yeah,
yes,
no doubt. And okay, what can your player of the week be? Every single player on the field, Casey, because that's what we need to pull out a win. Is what it seems like.
I like the Mike Evans statistic.
Me too.
I had lost track of his yards, so when we got the notification that he had crossed 11,000, I thought, wow, that's amazing what he continues to show in the middle of his career. He's still a young man who's putting up these numbers. I was disappointed when he was ruled down by contact on that big catch that when he slid in for should have been a touchdown, but he was down at the 1, and he was denied his 87th career touchdown. I have the numbers here in front of me, which would have tied him for 16th. Andre Reed, Hall of Famer Andre Reed. For all-time receiving touchdowns. He's moving up the list, and he has the chance to realistically get up to possibly Rob Gronkowski at 12th this year. Gronk has 92 career touchdowns. So
it's possible.
He's going into rare air, shall we say. And for, the kids who watch the Bucs now, I say, remember this. You don't see this often.
Yeah,
when you look at NFL
special
history, you remember for your favorite teams or whatever, there's a handful of guys you'll talk about 30 years from now. Mike Evans is one of them. The best Buccaneer in history when it's over. When he gets those numbers up to untouchable for the Bucs history, it's going to be something. And we're watching it right now. That's what's great.
Witnessing greatness.
Yes.
Witnessing greatness. Here's a stat for you. The Tennessee Titans are 0-4 away, and the Bucs are 1-3 at home. One win at home, if that's correct.
Something's got to give.
So, yeah. Someone's got to win on Sunday. So let's talk about this matchup. What do the Bucs need to do to pull out a win? What are we expecting from Will Levis? Because he's going to be the starting quarterback the rest of the year.
Blitz him. Mm-hmm. Go crazy on him. His first game was phenomenal. That debut against Atlanta. 4 touchdowns.
Beginner's luck, though? Beginner's luck? Or is this how he is in the NFL?
Well, anybody who comes in and has instant success, then there's tape on you. And the NFL is full of smart people.
Right.
Because the next game was humble pie. The Steelers just blitzed and blitzed and blitzed and made his night a long one. So that, to me, is the formula. Go after him.
Yeah, for sure. And you talk about, so Bowles mentioned this today about just getting pressure on the quarterback. And he said, I'm not as concerned about the quarterback sack numbers as I am just about being disruptive.
Yeah.
So I think that's sort of the mentality, is just like, be a menace, be in his face.
Absolutely.
And actually, I heard something, shout out to Casey Phillips, the Bucs team reporter. In her radio show with Ali Marpet, they had Yaya Diaby on. And she asked him about Will Levis because Yaya played against him last year. Yaya went to Louisville,
Right.
and Will Levis was out of Kentucky.
Right.
So it was interesting to hear him talk about Will Levis and the
dynamic.
rivalry
Yes.
with those two. So I asked Yaya about it today, and he was like, just some tendencies. You sort of know how he's going to play. He's
Love
like,
it.
maybe I can get in his head type of thing.
Yeah. No, I love that. I absolutely love that. I think that'll trickle over into Sunday. Yeah, good stuff there. I mean, Derrick Henry, hello. Got to stop him. Who else do the Bucs need to keep an eye on, guys?
DeAndre Hopkins.
There's one.
DeAndre Hopkins.
There's one.
The big name players on the opponents seem to be enjoying big days.
Yeah.
At least statistical, whatever the
I love that.
whatever the word
Stat-wise.
is, stat-wise,
Statistical.
they're
Keep
getting
it
their
short and
numbers
simple.
against this Bucs defense.
Yeah.
And then the theme for the Bucs defense has been you're not getting into the end zone. So that's what they've been doing. So yeah, I would, if Levis puts up numbers, that doesn't bother me as much as the scoreboard, which CJ Stroud last week puts up the big numbers and the scores. Not to go back and relive Sunday, but that was the thing that happened. You saw the snowball start to roll down the mountain and you knew what was coming. And it wasn't until you saw the numbers at the end, you're like, he threw over 300 yards in one half after the Bucs defense dominated early and just hit touchdown for his team. And that's what's so disappointing. And I don't even think the Bucs needed to watch that film. That was so ugly that they can move forward and try their best to not let Levis do the same thing.
Goodness, I'm sure it's hard too, like watching film after a game like that. But yeah, if you're watching us, you can see the standings. The Bucs are 3-5. They're obviously going up against a team that's 3-5. I believe the Titans are third in their standings.
Yeah.
So two hungry teams. This 4-game losing streak. I think the word for it they've been using is frustrated, right?
Yes.
I think put the frustration aside because I feel like frustration is a feeling that kind of like resonates with you and you're so focused on being angry. It's like you can't focus on what's ahead of you. So don't even think about the last 4 games would be, my advice, my opinion that no one wants. It's fine. I'm going to say it anyways. I'm also going to say that we are here every single Wednesday. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple, watch us on YouTube, and we're hoping for a win. If not, we'll be here to talk about it with you guys, and we're here every step of the way. So thank you always for listening, and we'll see you next Wednesday.